Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to Lefties Losing It. Let's start with the insufferable Michelle Obama, who appears to have created a podcast just to share passive-aggressive invective about her husband and to whine incessantly. Here she is with actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's also a Democrat activist. And yes, she's whining again. Apparently life for the American woman is unbearable. Those women living in Afghanistan and Iran, living under Islamist rule, they should be shedding tears for these two indulged millionaire victims.
Women, we have so many landmines and barriers and don'ts and limitations. It's, you know, I mean, Craig, you're the guy at the table, but I think it's important for all guys listening, especially men raising daughters, to realize that difference, you know, and that thing that inadvertently, as you were loving and raising these beautiful girls, there are so many rules that make us small.
Baked in without our knowing it, you know?
Oh, it's baked in, folks, baked in. Let's hear an example of this baked-in oppression facing women in the West. Please educate us, Julia.
And I wish I could. I mean, I remember people saying, "Oh, well, she's a female doctor," as opposed to just she's a doctor.
Wow, profound. That's just terrifying subjugation. I think I have secondhand trauma from just hearing that. You know, Julia Louis-Dreyfus campaigned for Kamala, even though her second most famous character she played, Selena Myers, was essentially Kamala. Let's have a look at Vice President Selena Myers and Vice President Kamala Harris.
My fellow Americans, words have many meanings, and sometimes instead of conveying our meaning, they can suggest other meanings.
When we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community.
Well, we are the United States of America because we are united, and we are states.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Whatever we have in store cannot be known. The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Now that's terrifying. She came this close to being president. And today is the anniversary of the assassination attempt against Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Let's have a look at the way the leftist print media reported the president suffering a gunshot wound, narrowly escaping being killed. Just have a look at some of the shameful reporting, and it'll serve as a reminder that you don't hate the leftist media enough. You think you do, but trust me, you don't. Let's start with CNN. Their headline read, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. He must have been clumsy that day. NBC referred to popping noises. Were they balloons, NBC? At least MSNBC mentioned gunshot-like sounds, while the Washington Post mentioned loud noises. Loud noises. Reminds me of this scene from Anchorman.
Loud noises!
But I've got to say, the worst of a bad lot is USA Today, who went with this headline. They said Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president. Just incredible. And the broadcast media, who habitually lied about Donald Trump, who for 8 solid years did everything possible to whip up hate and hysteria against Trump, well, they were eager to blame him for almost being killed. Here is ABC.
You point out those statements from J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy. Of course, President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well.
Well, absolutely, George. We were just looking back this morning at some of the things that former President Trump has said. He warned last March of potential death and destruction if he were charged by the Manhattan District Attorney. Our country is being destroyed as they tell us to be peaceful. Trump in January warned of bedlam in the country if the criminal charges against him succeeded. And of course, in March, He said, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it. He said he was partly joking and that was taken out of context. But those are indeed his words.
Just shameless victim blaming and gaslighting there by ABC. By the way, that bloodbath comment was about the car industry. It's all on tape. You can watch it for yourself. ABC is, of course, lying, misleading. This is the same organisation that just paid a massive settlement to Trump, not a big enough price for deliberate dishonesty. And yes, George Stephanopoulos was at the centre of that case. But back to the reporting after the assassination attempt. Not only did they seek to blame Donald Trump for almost being killed, but I wonder if they can find a way to perhaps blame his supporters. Maybe mention January 6 again.
Supporters are certainly, in some parts, angry. And let's remember January 6th. In so many ways for the campaign, January 6th will probably be in the background after yesterday's event. This is a very difficult time for this campaign. I'm sure this week in Milwaukee that President Trump will highlight this.
Just pathetic gutter reporting there. Now let's go to the footage. This was shot by one of the rally attendees. This is the immediate aftermath. It's astonishing footage.
The president's been shot. Oh no. No. Either that or they're covering. We don't know. Either that or they're covering him. We love you. We love you, President Trump. We love you, President Trump! We love you! Yes! 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 We love you, President Trump! No! He's shot! He's shot!
Welcome back. Let's go to the great state of Florida, where Turning Point USA's Student Action Summit was held last week. And predictably, the left were outraged and protesting, trying to shut down the event. But something rather wonderful happened. The young'uns at the summit got out on the streets and protested back against the people calling them Nazis.
Mass deportation! Mass deportation! Mass deportation!
Yes, they were chanting for mass deportations. And watch what happened when a deranged leftist stopped his car in the middle of the street to confront those attending the summit. But after he attacks a man, something very interesting happens. A veteran cop arrives and delivers a dose of instant karma. This is a classic case of what the kids call FAFO. He effed around and he found out.
Look at you, bro. Come on. Where you at? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Put you in the bathroom. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come close. Jump. Come close. You ready? You ready? Oh, you want something? Ready? Come on. Get over there. Come on. Come on. Your car. They're going to steal your car. They're going to steal your car. Hey, come over here. Oh, wow. Fighting. Now he's fighting.
That is hilarious. And Blaze reports that man has now been charged with battery and resisting arrest and with driving under the influence. Let's see what happened when a lefty losing it decided to confront border czar Tom Homan. Mistake. Big mistake. Sit back and enjoy this. You may need a cigarette afterwards.
Let's release them in the community. Wait 3 or 5 years.
Member.
Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member? It says so.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? All right. You got morons like this all over the country. This guy wouldn't like to serve his nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a Border Patrol agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprises me, you don't have purple hair and a nose ring. Get out of here, you loser. And you're such a badass. Meet me off stage in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I guarantee you he sits down to pee. Guaranteed.
Oh, superb. I just love him. I really do. Now that he's demolished that joker, perhaps Tom Homan could school this next clown who has put together a tutorial of sorts advising people to waste immigration and custom enforcement's time with prank calls and fake tip-offs. I'm pretty sure that's a crime.
So ICE has a tip line that's available on their website. It's listed right there. And you can call it 24/7 to report suspicious activity related to illegal immigration. If you manage to get an ICE officer on the phone, you can always just make up a 1 or 2 minute scenario of something that never happened that they can look into. However, if you get the voicemail, which is much more common, I recommend leaving a wet, juicy fart sound effect. They also have a hotline that you can text, and I figured out that you can send images to the number.
They always have those crazy eyes, don't they? And talking about crazy eyes, check out this lady.
I just thought of a way to combine my MAGA hating and my work in the ER. MAGA supporters are like people who hold on to fireworks too long. You love it until it hurts you. Kind of like, you love it until you can't retire until the age of 70. So see it in the ER, folks, when your fingers get blown off. Oh, have a good day.
Gross, just gross. Now get ready for a Jasmine Crockett extravaganza. We've featured her before. She says a lot of dumb things. And then there's the whole accent switch up. She can go from prep school to ghetto like this. Kamala has nothing on her. But despite her habit of saying some really, really, truly stupid stuff, there is talk of her being the new bright star amongst the Democrats. Perhaps she could lead the Democratic Party into being electable again. Let's have a look at her here, flat out lying, saying that the left are not violent at all, and the men who wanted to assassinate Donald Trump are actually his supporters. That makes perfect sense if you're a moron.
Violence doesn't come from Democrats, just to be clear. I mean, obviously anyone can be a criminal, but it is MAGA. It's specifically MAGA faction. Like, I don't think traditional Republicans are getting engaged in all of this, but like, even when we look at, and they don't talk about the assassination attempts anymore that took place with Donald Trump, but these were Trump supporters, right?
Yep, lies, lies, lies. And of course, that's the sort of lying that the lunatics at MSNBC just love. Watch this embarrassing exchange between an MSNBC host and a teary Jasmine.
That was you and I 3 years ago. That was your first time on the Katie Fang Show. This is the second to the last episode of the show. Congresswoman, I wanted to thank you for always getting up and early and delivering it, but I also want to say thank you for your continuing support for democracy. It's definitely something that you have made your brand, and it's the integrity that you're bringing, and I'm grateful for you always. We'll miss you. Oh. You can't have me crying at the beginning of a show, Jasmine. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, you haven't seen the last of me. Thank you for being here and getting us started today. I always appreciate you. Thank you.
And here Jasmine Crockett has the nerve, the chutzpah, to call other people dumb. Apparently, if you don't vote for the radical Democrats, well, you're just uneducated. You don't know what you're doing.
Most people voted the wrong way because they were uneducated, and that's not to call them dumb, but literally life sometimes is life, and you're trying to keep a roof over your head, keep food on the table, trying to make sure that your kids have what they need, and so you're not tuned in to the endless news cycle, or you don't know what the truth is. Y'all need to connect the dots.
And talking about chutzpah, here is Jasmine Crockett claiming that Joe Biden was cognitively sound. Nothing wrong with him. It's President Donald Trump's mental acuity that concerns her.
Do you have concerns about the president's health and his mental acuity at all? None whatsoever.
I had none. Now, granted, I didn't see Joe Biden every single day, but I did have an opportunity to interact with the president. I never had a concern. If there's anyone that I am concerned about their mental acuity, it is the current occupant.
Now to the man who wants to be US president, who wants to position himself as the sensible centrist Democrat, the sane choice among a sea of hard left radicals. The only problem is, well, he's the current governor of California, the state that has crystallised for so many Americans just why the modern left is broken. Here is Gavin Newsom. He is asked about the evil of transitioning an 8-year-old child, and he can't even bring himself to condemn that.
What about for your values? I mean, is 8 years old too young?
Yeah, I mean, look, I now that I have a 9-year-old, just became 9, come on, man, I get it. So those are legit. You know, it's interesting, just the issue of age. As someone that's been so focused on equality, broadly, LGBT rights, particularly gay marriage, the trans issue for me is also novel. It's over the last few years, I'm trying to understand as much as anyone else. Whole pronoun thing, trying to understand all of that. Well, you know, that was like the hell. I mean, all that stuff. I get it.
Ana Navarro, she's not only one of the miserable mavens of The View, but she also shares her unpleasant and uninformed invective on CNN, where she dismisses certain opinions based on gender and race. How progressive.
Also, I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
That is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latino. No, I'm not being racist.
To dismiss my opinion for being a white man.
No, I'm not dismissing your opinion. I am telling you that the Latino community, the brown community in America.
Speak in one voice.
Okay, well, let me speak with my voice. I mean, you said I was being hyperbolic. Let me respond.
Racially, sure.
I'm not. You being a white man as an insult?
When you invoke it to dismiss my
being a white man as an insult?
When you invoke it,
do you think Latinos are living under circumstances that other people may not be right now in this country?
There she goes again, pretending every member of the Latino community is illegal and fearful of being deported. As for her being blatantly sexist and racist in that instance, well, it wasn't long before CNN host Abby Phillip was rushing to rescue Anna and defend her bigotry. Wonder if she'd do that if a man dismissed Navarro's opinion because of her gender and race.
I just want to make a point that, Brad, all she's saying is that her view of the situation is different from yours. I don't think that's an insult.
She basically said I'm wrong because I'm a white man.
She just said I see it. I see it differently from you, which is not an insult. It's not, and it's also not a racial insult.
Say what now, Abby? Nice attempt at gaslighting, but we just heard Anna being racial. It wasn't the difference in opinion that was ugly. It was the racist, sexist reason behind it.
As a white man?
Now let's go to Anna's View co-host, Sunny Hostin, who exemplifies the left so beautifully, so unprincipled, so inconsistent, so utterly devoid of anything resembling a good faith argument. Let's see her go from claiming anyone who wants the Epstein list released is a reckless conspiracy theorist. That's when the Democrats were in power. But now that Trump is in power, well, she's had a dramatic change of heart. And let's thank Maisel Moore again for this superb clip.
People were dying for this information. There was some sort of list that everybody thought was going to come out, and who's on the list. What's important for us to note is we shouldn't be repeating names that are on the list, because just because your name has not on the list, but in the documents, just because your name is on the documents doesn't mean that you have done anything criminally irresponsible or illegal or civilly irresponsible.
Or that you were a client.
Or that you were a client. It only really, these documents as I read them, only reflect Epstein's sexual assaults of women and his sexual behavior. So I think that... And Ghislaine also? And Ghislaine. And so being named in this suit does not equate to being accused of wrongdoing. And I think that is extremely important because conspiracy theorists seem to not understand or enjoy facts. Yes. These are the facts.
There is a list. Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public. I mean, of course, Trump is denying any and all allegations, but all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list?
And let's stick with the ladies of The View. Whoopi Goldberg is unhappy again. This time she's attacking her own, including Mark Cuban and even Barack Obama, who have advised the left, they've advised the Democrats to stop whining so much. Whoopi is outraged. She wants to keep whining incessantly.
Let me remind everybody who was out in the front lines marching when we had the giant marches that went on. It was the people. The people went out. They were not navel-gazing. It was older people who were saying, why are you touching my Social Security? It was not people whining. With much due respect to you both, I believe you are pointing the finger at the wrong person when you say Democrats.
And let's hear from Barack Obama, who's had a dramatic change of heart, almost Sonny Hostin-like. He's gone from berating men, claiming that only sexism is stopping them from voting for Kamala Harris. Remember this?
And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. That's not acceptable.
Gosh, I can't believe that didn't work. But now Barack Obama has had a change of heart. He's changed his tune. Here he is rooting for men on Michelle Obama's podcast. He explains that boys and men feel like they're not being valued.
And I would argue that some of the broad political trends we've seen, not just in this country, but around the world, have to do with this sense of, boys, men not feeling as if they are seen, feeling as if they count. And that then makes them more interested in appeals by folks who say, you know what, the reason you don't feel respected is because women have been doing this, or this group has been doing this, or that group's been doing this. And that is not that's not a healthy place to be.
Now, in the past, we've talked about Barbara Streisand blaming Donald Trump for getting fat. Her words, not mine. Rosie O'Donnell blamed the president for her drinking too much. And now we have actress Valerie Bertinelli getting on the internet to talk about her desire for alcohol and food. To give this Democrat some credit, she is a big Democrat. She even filmed herself voting for Kamala. How embarrassing. Now, to give her credit, she doesn't directly blame Trump for her online meltdown, but we all know who's to blame.
I want to drink. I want to numb it. I don't want to feel it. But my logical mind is like, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to numb it. You know what will help you feel better is to just feel the feelings, get through to the other side, have a good cry. And yet I can't cry.
Now, the almighty LGBTQIA++ community is fracturing. This group that has enjoyed disproportionate power, disproportionate influence in recent years is splitting, with many in the LGB part, lesbians, gays and bisexuals, rejecting the excesses of the trans movement.
We are normal gays.
We are absolutely embarrassed by the insanity of queer ideology and are announcing our departure.
If you want to keep chugging along with the people who make everything about race, believe in thousands of genders, and transition children, be our guest.
If you stand for the separation between crazy and common sense,
and you no longer agree with the ideology of woke activism,
we are taking a stand by reposting, resharing, and refocusing our energy on us.
And let's see what happened when Ariel Scarcella, who you saw in that clip, attended Pride in New York and sought to have some sane, rational conversations. It didn't go too well. You see, the love and tolerance mob can't even tolerate a lesbian, a member of the LGBT community who is not in favour of irreversible trans treatments for children. Watch this.
They took away the procedures for people to be able to.
The Supreme Court just ruled on that.
On minors, yes, on minors.
You can no longer get gender-affirming care under 18 in Tennessee.
I agree with that, and I think a lot of LGBT people do, including a lot of my transsexual friends.
So what are trans kids supposed to do? Just sit and wait?
A lot of kids grow out of it.
Well, what's the problem?
A lot of kids grow out of it.
Yes,
so you're
do.
saying it's a choice. You're saying it's a phase. This woman's coming to New York Pride trying to say, so why are we okay with this conservative influencer trying to say that transness is a choice?
Put words in my mouth. I literally didn't say that.
Why are we just letting this happen in the street? We're a half block away from the Pride Parade. We're just gonna let this happen?
Yeah, it's freedom of speech. I also didn't say that.
What's the problem with trans people?
If you let me, are you gonna calm down? Are you gonna let me talk? Because you're
okay then. Because you're spreading hate at a LGBT event.
I'm gay.